Today I'm going to be talking about a common problem that a lot of high school trumpet players face in marching band. I'm recording this on July 16th, 2021. So sadly we're coming up on the end of summer, but for a lot of us that means marching band season is starting, which is very exciting. And we're going to be doing a lot of playing that might be higher and louder or just more hours of the day than we might be used to. So I want to share with you a common issue that can come about as a result of that and post a quick tip for what you can do about it. So first things first, the issue that we run into in marching band is, imagine we have a trumpet player here with our lips set on the mouthpiece. In marching band, we're going to be moving a lot of air through the embouchure. And the more air that you move through the lips, things are going to start to open up wider and wider, which is exactly the way that it should work. But if that's all that you do for 3 or 4 days at a time, or 4 weeks at a time, or 4 months at a time, eventually that's going to cause issues, because on this instrument, we need to be practicing things in opposites. And what a lot of high schoolers forget to do when they're doing a lot of loud playing is they forget to supplement that with a little bit of soft playing. And if you spend 5 minutes doing what I'm about to show you every 3 days, 5 minutes every 3 days, I bet you're going to have a much more enjoyable marching season. Now, if you don't, there's a few signs and symptoms to look out for in your playing that will let you know when you've been doing too much overplaying, when you've been doing too much loud and not enough soft. The first thing that will happen to most players is when you practice your long tones, it becomes really difficult to have a clean sound. It should take you 30 seconds or 1 minute in the morning to have a pretty good sound. But if you notice that your tone is noisy or there's some graininess in there that won't go away, that's the first sign to look out for, that something's a little bit out of balance. And the second thing to look out for, and this applies to a lot of the older players in the section, is imagine third space C, like a scale from third space C to the top of the staff, C, D, E, F, G. That's an important register for you guys to be thinking about, because a lot of you can play a G on top of the staff, but too often in marching band, we start to have to work for it more than we should. And so if you notice yourself climbing to the top of the staff, but you can just tell it's not easy, and of course you can hear a difference. The tone isn't as good as you know it can be. That's the second sign to look out for, that something's out of balance. So ideally, you want to be proactive about noticing these things, and you want to come back to this drill every couple days so that ultimately the trumpet's easier to play and you can enjoy your marching season a lot more. Okay, so here's what you're going to practice. You're going to practice long tones on, let's start on low C or G. And you're going to play as soft as you can. And when you do this, you're actually going to start the note with a breath attack. You're not going to start the note like tu or ta the way we normally do. Again, this is not the way you're supposed to play in band. You're going to start the note with hu, the letter H. And you're deliberately going to use so little air that you don't make any sound at all. Seems kind of weird, right? You're going to do that for a few seconds and then gradually try to increase the amount of air you move across the lip until you start to get a vibration. There's my low C. It's very, very soft. And if you listen closely, in between right before the sound actually starts to vibrate, there's kind of a ghost of a note. There's a cloud of sound that you hear right before the vibration becomes full. There it is. I don't know if you can hear that. Again, I'm recording this on my iPhone. I can show you this in person if you want me to. But the point is, what you're chasing that ghost of a note. It's not a real note, so we call them ghost tones or whisper tones or subtones. There's a million names for these things. It doesn't matter what you call it. It matters that you do this, like I said, every couple days. So I think that covers the technique of it, really. Don't do this in the upper register. Do this in a register that's really easy, and do this for 5 or 10 minutes. And remember, if you're in a situation where you've kind of taken a little bit of a beating because of marching band, it's gonna sound funny. It's gonna take a little bit of time for this to start working. But you know it's working when you can sustain a little bit of that ghost sound for a few seconds at a time, and the vibration starts relatively quickly. We're starting with no vibration on purpose, and then we're gradually increasing the air until we get a little bit of something. So here we go. Okay, just a few closing remarks before we finish. First of all, if you've made it this far in the video, good for you. Thank you. I think this is going to be really valuable for you, especially if you do it every 2 to 3 days. You really want to be looking out for any small fluctuations in your playing. So be proactive about noticing when your sound isn't what you want it to be, or when you feel yourself working more than you know you should. Be proactive about carving time in your day for this. Just 5 or 10 minutes at a time is fine. Also, don't expect yourself to get the same results that I just got. If you're trying this for the first time, remember that this is really new. This is like the opposite of what you've been doing in band for potentially a very long time. So be patient and let it take time to find that small vibration. I think if you do this regularly, you'll have a much more enjoyable and hopefully less confusing and bewildering marching season. And yeah, that's what we want for all of you. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy practicing.